Ladies and gentlemen, from all over the freaking United States, the madhouse that is
the dark web.
Welcome once again to the zany world and another week of crazy shenanigans from Guess Not Who. Who are we not talking about today? We're not talking about Mr. Orange Toupee Penguin Man. Yep. Orange Man is not on the radar. You want to know who's on the radar? The man who's going to turn us all into a bunch of Scrooge McDucks. Yes, that is correct. The man who renamed Twitter as X. The man who named his son after Twitter is now planning to give everybody a $5,000 boost in their pocketbooks. Yeah, sounds great, right? Anyways, you want to know how this so-called $5,000 is coming out? Well, it's coming out of the FAA having a bunch of plane crashes. The CDC getting defunded, which means we're going to probably have COVID 2.0 in no time at all. And a whole bunch of other departments getting gutted out, which means there could be a bunch of problems coming out in the future with a lot of these organizations not having the manpower to come up with vaccines and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. I've also heard news about RFK. Once I get enough information about that, I'll probably start roasting RFK Jr. at the same time. So, yeah. Moving along. On the surface, $5,000 doesn't sound too bad. And 20% of the savings is not that bad, really. But in order to get to that point, well, we have to do $2 trillion in savings in order to get to that point in time. Not only that, according to USA Today, okay, so how much is the national debt that we have to pay off? Because it seems like, okay, we got the anti-woke investor James thing. Not important. That is nothing to be, concerned about. What we're concerned about is the $2 trillion in savings, right? But what I'm also concerned about is how much money are we in debt? So Speaker of the House Mike Johnson did not seem to be on board with the Doge dividend proposal when he spoke. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is not known to take very good takes. So this is something that's very interesting. Did not seem to be on board with the Doge dividend proposal when he spoke Thursday to the 2025 Conservative Political Action Conference. He rolled his eyes and said, politically, that would be great for us, because everybody gets a check, Johnson said. But if you think about our core principles, right? Fiscal responsibility is what we do as conservatives. That's our brand, and we have a $36 trillion federal debt.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
Okay, so the U.S. has a $36 trillion federal debt. And Doge supposedly gave a savings of America to $2 trillion. And he wants to give $5,000 checks to everybody in the entire United States? Okay, that's a thing. But, what's even clueless about everybody in the know-how, I did come across, how much, they've actually ended up collecting in the savings. Okay, so it says here, if we don't spend government money and we give it back to the people, if they spend it all, then you're even, he said. To financial news sites in Vestopia. Who said this one? Kevin Hassett. Oh, okay. But they're going to save a lot of it, in which case you're reducing inflation. I'm not an economist, but somehow I don't think that reduces inflation. Maybe somebody who knows about the economy knows about this, but reducing inflation, I'm not entirely sure if that is going to be a thing. The issue may be moot because Doge is unlikely to be able to reach its goal of $2 trillion in savings. I'm just not sure the savings are there, he said. Last week, Musk said Doge had already saved taxpayers $55 billion. But an error listing the cancellation of an $8 million contract as being an $8 billion savings suggested it had actually totaled a savings of about $16.5 billion. Doge won't achieve enough savings to issue checks big enough to create inflation. Elon Kamrak, a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution, told the Associated Press she called the idea of a Doge dividend ridiculous. It's not going to happen. There's too much of a national debt. And according to the amount of savings that we got now, it's not 55 billion, but it's 16.5 billion. So we're not gonna get our $5,000 in checks. 16.5 billion? Are you freaking kidding me right now? And you need $2 trillion in savings in order to give out $5,000 checks. No. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No matter how many people you've actually ended up firing, causing the collapse of the healthcare system. Okay. Which could make people sick. Very sick. You got the FAA, which is causing numerous deaths now. And we got, what is it called? USAID, which is now considered illegal, thanks to federal courts now intervening. Yeah, it's not looking good. So, Scrooge McDuck in the future? No. First, we have to pay off the $16 trillion, right? It's $32 trillion in debt, right? Yeah, we have to pay off the $36 trillion federal debt. So this would be $34 trillion right now. If there is a way to get $2 trillion. But since Doge took over, that ain't happening. $16.5 billion saved. Sorry, not happening. We're all screwed. We're gonna continue to be screwed, and well, let's see what other things they're going on happening this week later on. I can't wait to see what RFK what I have to say about RFK Jr. because that man is, oh my god, that man has literally blown off the wheels.